Hey everyone, today is day 13 here for our chick check, and we're going to talk a little bit about the weekend and then we'll dig into what's happening today. Our humidity is right at 47%, so we're between 45 and 55. Thankfully, we had to come in here Saturday and Sunday to make sure we were good. When we left on Friday, we were on day 10. So our chicks were developing, if you remember, our chicks were developing their claws, and this is kind of what they looked like. On day 11, which was Saturday, they start to develop their tail feathers. Day 12, which was Sunday, they develop scales and legs on their feet. So day 11, this is when their claws are more developed and they're starting to develop their tail feathers. Day 12, you can see a little bit of grow. Now I'm going to tell you the growth from 12 to 13 to me was huge, and I'm going to prop you up here so I can better. Sorry about that. So here's day 12 and here is today, and you can see the feathers growing on the back. You can also see that the legs are actually changing a different color. That different color is because the scales are developing on the legs on day 12. So today, as we're working, they are starting to develop their eyelids. So if you look closely, you can see that little tiny bit, but tomorrow we'll probably see more on the eyelids as well as some of other changes. We'll find out. Now, as we're going through this, we keep talking about humidity. And to ensure that we have the right amount of humidity here in the classroom, we've added a humidifier to hopefully help regulate some of those issues we're having. None of the issues so far have been huge, so we're still very confident that we're going to hatch some chicks here on April 28th. When we candled all of our eggs last Friday, all 12 of them do have something growing. Now, when we say that, that doesn't necessarily mean something's going to hatch out of all 12. It just means that at that time something was growing. There's a lot of things that could happen. We may have 6, we may have 8, we may have 2. There's a lot of variables in play. The other thing is I keep talking about humidity. And so I had a friend ask me, well, what does the humidity even do? So if you have too much humidity, so if we were to have, instead of our 45 to 55%, we were at like 65 or 80%, what that means is that it's not, the chicken is probably gonna be born too big. Too big could be problems. It could be born early where everything isn't developed. It could be born unable to walk or move because it's already too big and it doesn't have those skills yet. If we have too little humidity, it's not going to be born big enough. It won't have developed, or it'll be born too small. This is because the humidity impacts the air cell. And so as the higher the humidity, the smaller the air becomes. As the lower humidity, the bigger the air becomes. We don't want there to be so much air inside of the egg that the chick doesn't grow because there's no room for it to grow. So it's a very delicate. That's why on day 18, which is next Sunday, we are gonna remove the turner and we're actually gonna up the humidity, because at the end of the chicks being in their eggs, we want them to grow a lot so that they hatch the right size. So that's a little bit about why humidity is important. That's a little bit why stress is Megan out a little bit. We gotta come into school on the weekends. And that's what we're working on. Tomorrow we're gonna talk a little bit more about some of the body parts of our chick, and we're gonna get started to get set up for when they do start to hatch and what needs to happen. Thanks for tuning in to today's Daily Chick Check. Bye guys.